Good morning students. Here is your SS teacher Ganesh sir. In this video we will discuss the second part of your third chapter. On the screen you can read the name chapter 3 Indian Constitution. Before we discuss the new topic, let us recap what we had discussed in the previous video. We had discussed how and why the rules and regulations are important, as in a simple game the rules are required. Then to run a huge populous nation we must need the laws, the rules, and therefore there is a constitution which gives the laws to run the country. Then we had discussed how the constitution was framed. Then we had discussed the preamble, the first page of the constitution, which shows the goals of the constitution. This is a preamble. Then this we had discussed in detail. The goals, this is the source, the people of India is the source of the preamble of the constitution. And here are the different goals, like India will be sovereign, means free nation, no other nation will rule on India. India will be independent, sovereign. Socialist means in a society, in country, each and every people will be equal. There will be no rich, there will be no poor people, all will be the equal. That means socialist. Secular, all the religions are equal. Democratic and republic means the government will be elected by the people. So these all we are the nature's goals of the constitution. Then our constitution will give provide the justice, which kind of social, economic, political, liberty, freedom of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Constitution will provide the equality to people of the status and the opportunity. Then brotherhood for the unity and integrity of the country. And finally the date of the adoption of the constitution. So this we had already discussed in detail. A very important part of the constitution, the soul of the constitution, is a preamble. Then we had discussed the Constituent Assembly, which is responsible to create the constitution for India. Their first they started working on this date. Then the prominent leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Prasad Mukherjee, Sardar Baldev Singh, etc. These all are the leaders. Then we had understood the meaning of Anglo-Indians means if any person's father for grandfather, anyone is a British, then he will be called Anglo-Indian. Then the most important is a Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Then two important female members of the Constituent Assembly, Sarojini Naidu and the Vijayalakshmi Pandit. Vijayalakshmi Pandit, sister of Jawaharlal Nehru. Then we discussed the Constituent Assembly had 389 members, and there were various different committees inside that. The drafting committee is one of the important committee in the Constituent Assembly. And finally all those people did the meetings for 166 times, and they worked totally for 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days to create the Constitution of India. And finally on these dates it was implemented. These are the committees. Then types of government, in which we discuss the different types. When no one rules, it is anarchy. When only one person, if king rules, it is monarchy. If the army leader rules, it is called dictator. Here Hitler, I give you the example. When few people, powerful people, far rich family rules, it is called oligarchy or janta. When few people rules, powerful people or a rich people, group of rich people, it is called janta or oligarchy. Then there is a democracy which India follows. We have the representative democracy where all the people have the power. Then we had discussed that Indian constitution has borrowed from this constitution of various constitution of the different countries like British, Ireland, France, US, etc. And Indian constitution is the longest written constitution. And these are the things which we had borrowed from the different nations, from which we have to remember the fundamental rights are from the US, because we are going to study fundamental rights. So this you have to remember, fundamental rights we have borrowed or we have copied from the US, constitution of US. And then there is concept of concurrent list. This we also going to discuss, so that we had borrowed from the Australia. This you have to remember. Then there was a few questions. I hope you have written down all the answers and you have understood this video well. Now let us start with the second part of this chapter. Here in the second part, we are going to discuss the salient features of the Constitution. Our Constitution has some important features like democratic rule, secularism, republic, federal state, and the fundamental rights. So one by one, we will discuss all of them. So let us start with the democratic rule. Demo. First of all, the meaning of this word demo, DEMO. This is a root word. अगर किसी भी वर्ड में ये वर्ड आता है डेमो, उसका मतलब होता है that entire word is related to the public, to the people. Like demography, you may have heard this word. So demo means which is related to people. Democratic rule means a rule which is related to people, which is done by the people. Let us understand. India has adopted the democratic system of the government. General elections. Who is the head of the India? The Prime Minister. The position of Prime Minister is the actual head of the country. So the general election to elect the Prime Minister, we have the election and we call it a general election. So it holds at every 5 years. So what is the tenure? What is the time tenure of the PM Prime Minister? It is a 5 year. Citizens above the age of 18 are eligible for cast their vote. Any Indian who is 18 year or above that age can cast their vote in any election of our country. We cannot imagine democracy without the election. Obviously, without the election, we cannot select the leader of the country. So without election, democratic rule will not be possible. So we cannot imagine the democracy without the election. Election is the backbone. Election is the backbone of the democratic rule. People all over the country plays their role in electing their representative. When there is a general election to elect the prime minister, there will be the election across the country, and out of all the people, like there is a 135 crore of the population, so out of 135 crore, all those who are 18-year-old or above that will give the vote to select the prime minister of the country. So this is how the democratic rule works. Now there should be a question ke who conducts the election. So to conduct the election, there is one organization which is called Election Commission of India. This is a symbol of the Election Commission of India. This Election Commission of India is responsible for conducting the election of each and every state, and the election which is for the member of the parliament. All the elections are conducted by the election commission. Only the local self election, जो local self government के जो election होते हैं like a gram panchayat, those are not conducted by the election commission of India. Okay, otherwise all the elections are conducted by the election commission of India. Any voter of the country can contest in an election irrespective of his or her religion, caste, class, or gender. Whether you are a Hindu or Muslim, whether you are a boy or a girl, whether you are belongs to a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, means whatever you are, but if you are an Indian, then you can contest in an election, you can stand in an election, and you can get elected to the parliament. So only there is only one condition, you should be an Indian. Whatever religion you follow, whatever language you speak, that does not matter. So irrespective of all these things, anyone can contest the election in India. The elected representative rules for 5 years. This we already know, and therefore there is election at the end of every 5th year. Every citizen enjoys the freedom to follow a religion of their choice, as well as freedom of speech, expression, and the thoughts. We all have the freedom of speech. You can speak anything, you can express your feelings and your thoughts. This is the EVM. This plus this both are together called the EVM, and this box is called VVPAT. Here you can read VVPAT. The full form of VVPAT is Voters Verified Paper Audit Trail. So this is the EVM. Here you can see the buttons. Suppose here, if this I press this button for this candidate K, so in this VVPAT you can see the light will glow here, and you can see the paper on which the K is printed. So in this is just the example. So in the actual election, here the name of the candidate will be written, here the symbol, suppose it is of BJP, then here will be lotus. So when I will press here, then here the symbol, the lotus will be shown. Okay, so this is how the election takes place. The second feature is secularism. One thing that you already know, that in India there are lots of people who follow different religion. Now you know the names of religion like Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, then uh, Islam, Parsi. There are various religions. Okay. So what do you mean by secularism? A secular nation means that the government does not conform to the norms of any particular religion in the system of the governance. Means if the nation is secular nation, then government will not consider any particular religion as the religion of the country. Suppose in India there are lots of religion, but government of India does not consider any religion as a state religion. Means suppose in India the Hindus are in majority, the population of Hindus is around 100 crore. So government of India will not follow the rules of Hinduism only. Okay, means all the religions will be equal in front of government. अगर जब गवर्नमेंट की बात आएगी तो हिंदूज को जितना प्रिविलेज, जितने एडवांटेजेस, जितनी फैसिलिटीज गवर्नमेंट देती है, उतनी ही फैसिलिटीज गवर्नमेंट क्रिश्चियंस को भी देगी, मुस्लिम्स को भी देगी, सिख को भी देगी, और बुद्धिज्म फॉलो करते उन लोगों को भी देगी. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड द सेक्युलरिज्म. मीन्स जहां पर सारे रिलीजन कैसे होते, इक्वल. गवर्नमेंट किसी भी रिलीजन के लोगों को ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रिलीजन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, दुर्व्यवहार, उनके साथ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, अन्याय नहीं करेगी. ओके. Citizens are not discriminated on the basis of their faith, sect and religion. Okay, आपके faith, sect और religion के नाम पर आपके साथ किसी भी प्रकार का भेदभाव गवर्नमेंट नहीं कर सकती, and this system is called secularism. So here I hope you remember the meaning of sect. Means that there is a Jainism. आपको जैनिज्म के बारे में पता होगा. तो सेक्ट का मतलब क्या होता है? सेक्ट के जैनिज्म के अंदर भी दो पार्ट अलग होते हैं, जैसे श्वेतांबर एंड दिगंबर. तो जैनिज्म इज अ रिलीजन, एंड व्हाट आर द सेक्ट ऑफ जैनिज्म? दैट इज श्वेतांबर एंड दिगंबर. तो दैट इज कॉल्ड सेक्ट. ओके. Every citizen enjoys the right to follow and propagate the religion of his or her choice. You can follow any religion of your choice. Government cannot force you to follow any particular religion. Means if you are Hindu but you want to convert into Christian, then you can convert. Government will not force you. You can follow any religion, and even you can propagate means advertise. You can spread your religion. आपने देखा होगा कि some Christian missionaries converts the Hindus into the Christians by giving them a monetary help. कुछ पैसे देकर उनको कुछ सपोर्ट करके क्रिश्चियन लोग क्या करते हैं, जो रूरल एरियाज होते हैं, पिछड़े हुए गांव में जाकर लोगों को हिंदू से क्रिश्चियन में कन्वर्ट करते हैं. और वो ऐसा क्यों कर सकते हैं? बिकॉज वी हैव द फ्रीडम टू फॉलो एनी रिलीजन एंड इवन propagate, advertise our religion. Therefore they can do such things. Here you can see in India there is a Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Islam, and Christianity. So this is called the secularism, means more than one religion but all are equal. So this concept is called secularism. Then the next one is republic. Republic means a government that obtains the power from the people directly or indirectly. In the preamble, I told you what is the source of the constitution. It is the people of India. So in India, the leaders, who gives the power to the leader? These peoples who elect them. So this is called the republic, by the public. Okay, it is called the republic. So republic means the government that obtains the power from the people directly or indirectly. Suppose there is a prime minister, Narendra Modi, Sri Narendra Modi. Now who gave him a power of PM? उनको PM किसने बनाया? We, the people of India. We gave the vote and he became a power. He got the power and he became a prime minister of the country. Okay, so government which obtain the power from the people is called the republic. We have adopted a democratic republic system of the government, which means that power are not limited to the hand of few privileged people. Rather, it is accessible to all the citizens irrespective of their caste, class, religion, and gender. Now, this is very important to understand. In India, there is a democratic republic system, and any person can contest the election. In the beginning, I told you anyone can stand in the election. So, in India, power are not limited in the hands of few privileged people. Means कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर का बेटा ही प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनेगा, ऐसा इंडिया में पॉसिबल नहीं है. ओके, लाइक today there is a prime today PM is Sri Narendra Modi, but maybe in the next election he may lose the election and some other person can become the prime minister. So power always will not remain in the same hand. जो privilege, जिनके पास एडवांटेज है, उन लोगों के हाथ में हमेशा के लिए पावर रहेगा नहीं. रादर पावर इज एक्सेसिबल टू ऑल सिटीजन. In future may you stand in the election and you win the election with the majority, so you may also become the prime minister. So power is accessible to all the citizen. Any citizen of the country can become the prime minister and can obtain the power. Okay, so it is not limited with the few hand. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि आप अगर किसी पर्टिकुलर फैमिली से हो तो ही आप गवर्नमेंट में आ सकते हो. एनी सिटीजन. Next feature is federal state. Federal state. Suppose this is the entire nation and this nation is divided into small states. Suppose there are this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this country is divided into 8 states. Okay. Now these all 8 states have their own state government, plus there is one capital, national capital, so it has the central government. So these all 8 state government will follow the rules of the central government, as well as they will also have some freedom to make the rules for their own state. So this entire system is called federalism or the federal state. Like America, in America there are 50 states, 50 states, and the central government. So that is a federal union. India is also the federal structure. Like there is a 28 states and one central government. So all 28 state government follows the rules of central government, as well as all state has the powers to make the rules for their own state also. Like if the central government will make a law, then Gujarat government has to follow that law. But Gujarat government गुजरात के लिए भी तो लॉ बना सकती है ना, तो दैट स्ट्रक्चर इज कॉल्ड फेडरल स्टेट. So India is a federal state, means there is a central government as well as there are 28 state governments. There is a distribution of subject on which the central or the state government can frame the laws. Now there are three subject lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. So our constitution has had created three different lists to make the laws. Now here you can see there are the list. So the subject, the topics which are in the union list, on those topics only central government can make the law. Like there is a defense, like any decision, any rule regarding to the army, so only the central government can take the decision regarding the war or any army related questions. State government cannot. क्या अभी चाइना और इंडिया के बीच में वॉर की बात चल रही है, तो उसमें क्या गुजरात गवर्नमेंट कुछ भी डिसीजन ले सकती है? नो, बिकॉज दैट डिफेंस security of the nation, it is a responsibility of the central government. तो any state government cannot take the decision. So that is called the union list. तो उसमें कौन से मेजर टॉपिक्स हैं? लाइक डिफेंस, बैंकिंग, करेंसी, फॉरेन अफेयर्स एंड द कम्युनिकेशन. तो ये सारे टॉपिक है, इन पर कौन रूल बना सकता है? ओनली एंड ओनली सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. Then there is second list, state state list. So on this topic only state government can make the law. Like there is a police, ट्रेड, एग्रीकल्चर, इरिगेशन. तो इन सारे टॉपिक पर कौन रूल्स बनाएगा? ओनली स्टेट गवर्नमेंट. सो गुजरात गवर्नमेंट ने, अगर इफ यू टॉक अबाउट दी एग्रीकल्चर, तो अगर गुजरात गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ एग्रीकल्चर के रिलेटेड कोई लॉ बनाया होगा, तो क्या वो महाराष्ट्र में महाराष्ट्र में भी इंप्लीमेंट होगा? नो, महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट विल मेक देयर सेपरेट रूल्स रिगार्डिंग टू एग्रीकल्चर. वैसे ही all the state have their different laws regarding this subject which are only limited within their own state. तो गुजरात गवर्नमेंट के लॉज ओनली गुजरात में होंगे फॉलो. महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट के लॉ कहाँ पर फॉलो होंगे? ओनली इन द महाराष्ट्र. Tamil Nadu government will make law, then only it will be followed in the Tamil Nadu. If the states of Haryana and Punjab will make the law, then it will be followed only in the Punjab and Haryana, not in Gujarat. Okay. And there is a third list, concurrent list. So these are the topics on which both central and state both can make the law. But there is one condition. Suppose on education state government makes the law, but after that central government will make the law on the education, then which law will be followed? The law which is made by the central government. Here both government can make the law, but दोनों में अगर डिस्प्यूट हुआ तो किसका लॉ फॉलो करेंगे? ऑफ द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. ओके, यहाँ पर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का लॉ फिर हम फॉलो नहीं करेंगे. So there is few important topics, subjects which are kept in the concurrent list, like education, forest, state, trade, marriage, adoption, सक्सेशन. तो ये सारे टॉपिक कैसे, जिस पर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट दोनों रूल बना सकती है. बट अगर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का रूल है और उसके ऊपर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने रूल बनाया, तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का रूल ही फॉलो होगा, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का रूल कैंसल हो जाएगा. आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस डिफरेंस. Laws framed by the central government are applicable to the entire nation. If the state government will make the law, it will be only applicable in the state only. And if the central government will make a law, then it will be applicable to the entire nation from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Entire nation has to follow that rule. Then the most important feature of the Constitution of India, fundamental rights. These fundamental rights we had borrowed from the Constitution of America. Okay. The fundamental rights of Indian citizen are provided by the Constitution of India. That Constitution was adopted on the 26th November in 1949 and finally put in use on the 26th January 1950. The fundamental rights of the Indian citizen guarantees that the resident, means the people who live in India, they are called the resident of India. The resident of the land, here land means India, resident of India can lead peaceful life as long as they inhabit the country. Means fundamental rights of the Indian citizen guarantees that the resident of India can lead peaceful life and long as they inhabit the country. Means जब तक इंडियन सिटीजन इंडिया में रहते हैं तब तक they can lead or they can live peaceful life. और ये गारंटी कौन देता है? The fundamental rights. By using the fundamental rights we can lead the peaceful life in the country. The individual fundamental rights of the Indian citizens are most of the time similar in all the democratic countries. Like those of the fundamental rights are almost equal in all the countries, because as a human being we need some particular freedoms, and obviously whether you are in India or in America, freedom will be the same. So that is our fundamental rights: freedom, expression of speech. You can speak against anyone if someone is doing wrong. So in each and every country that right will be equal. So whether the fundamental rights of India or any other country, they are almost similar. There will be a nominal change only. So let's see which are the fundamental rights given by the Constitution of India to its citizen. So first is equality before law. Means in the front of law, in front of government, all the people are equal. Means whether you are a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, does not matter. Whether you are from the Gujarat or you are from the Tamil Nadu, it does not matter. Whether you speak any language, you belongs to any tribe or anything, it does not matter. All the citizens of India are equal in front of law. Means law are equal for each and every citizen of India. Freedom of religion, this we had discussed in the secularism. You can follow any religion, no one can force you to follow the different religion. So that is freedom of religion. Freedom of association and peaceful assembly. Means you can create any association or you can create any peaceful assembly. You can meet, you can create the get together of thousands of people, but it should be peaceful. You have that particular right of freedom, right of freedom. Freedom of speech and expression. So in the news you can see the news anchors are saying, they are criticizing the government, है ना? So why government don't do anything, why government don't take actions against the news channel? Because we have the right to freedom of speech and expression, we can express our thought. So अगर आप गवर्नमेंट को क्रिटिसाइज करोगे, बुरा बोलोगे, तो भी गवर्नमेंट आपको पनिशमेंट नहीं दे सकती. Right to constitutional remedies, this is very important. Right to constitutional remedies for the protection of the civil rights. If you are deprived from any of these rights, अगर आपको इसमें इन सब में से कोई भी राइट या किसी एक राइट को आपको नहीं मिल रहा है, तो दिस राइट टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रेमेडी विल हेल्प यू टू गेट दिस राइट्स. अगर आपको कोई राइट नहीं मिलता है तो कौन सा राइट आप यूज करोगे? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रेमेडी to protect your civil rights. Then there is the organs of the government. There are three organs: legislature, executive, and judiciary. This all together forms the government and runs the administration of the nation. Legislature, what is their work? To make law. Means parliament जो थी ना, parliament वहां पर क्या होता है? They frames the law, so they are legislature, the members of parliaments. Then there is executive. Execute means to implement. So executives with the help of civil service officers implements the laws. तो लेजिस्लेचर्स जो लॉ बनाएंगे वो इम्प्लीमेंट कौन करेगा, करवाएगा? एग्जीक्यूटिव्स. तो इन द एग्जीक्यूटिव्स देयर आर दी सिविल सर्विस ऑफिसर्स like a collector of the district as well as the prime minister. They are called the executives. Then the third organ is judiciary. If the laws which are made by legislature and executed by executives are not followed, अगर कोई लॉ फॉलो नहीं करता है तो उनको पनिशमेंट कौन देगा? द जुडिशियरी. So judiciary make the people follow the law and does the work of the providing justice. So there are three main organs of the government: legislature who makes laws, executive who implement the laws, and judiciary who punish or provides the justice. Okay, here this we had learned in the seventh or sixth levels of government. There are three levels: central government, state government, and local self government. So this is a brief idea. Central government. So who is the head of the central government? President. Then there will be the three organs: legislature, executives, and the judiciary in the central government also. So in legislature there is a parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. They will make the law. Then who is the executive? Prime Minister and his Council of the Minister. Then judiciary. So in the center there is a Supreme Court is a judiciary. Then if we talk about central government, so who is the head of the state government? Legislature. Who is the head of the state government? So he is a governor who is appointed by the central government. Okay, governor is appointed by the central government. इसमें state government governor को appoint नहीं कर सकती. Again there will be the three organ: legislature, executives, and the judiciary. तो legislature में कौन होगा? MLA, member of the legislative assembly, विधान सभा एंड विधान परिषद. देन एग्जीक्यूटिव में कौन होगा? CM एंड हिज काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर. और स्टेट में कौन सी कोर्ट होती है? हाई कोर्ट. दैट वी ऑलरेडी नो. बिलो द हाई कोर्ट देयर विल बी द डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट एंड फर्दर सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट. देन द थर्ड लेवल इज local self government. तो local self government there are again three levels: panchayat, municipal corporation, and municipalities. So this was a brief idea about the structure of the government. This is the function of government. Like this is the people of India who will give the vote. Actually that is the opinion to the representatives, and they will elect the representatives. And these representatives, they will become the member of legislative assembly. They will make the law which will be enact. Then they will enact the law. Then again there will be implementation of the law which we have to follow. So this is the entire circle. We elect the representatives, they will make the law, then they will implement the law, and again we have to follow the law. So this is the function of the government. Here are a few questions which you have to write down in your CW. Make sure you write all these question and answer at your own. If you don't understand anything, watch videos twice and try to write it down. Thank you.